What's going on, guys? I was going to shoot this video tomorrow, but it's calling for rain pretty much the rest of the week, so I'm going to go ahead and do it today. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take you on a ride. The Eclipse is pretty much running and everything's good, everything's smooth. So I'm going to take you on a ride, kind of show you everything that's going on, talk about a couple of the flaws that it's got right now, and then we're going to do a walk around, and I'm just going to kind of go over all the mods that are on the car, everything I've done to it, that sort of thing, kind of put it all in a nutshell for you. So let's go. So first things first, the car has a pretty gnarly exhaust leak coming right off the downpipe, as you can probably hear. And it's not a whole lot I can do about it at this time because I have to probably get a new downpipe. The main reason I wanted this one was because of the open dump, which you're going to hear in a little bit, and it sounds awesome. So it's great, I love it, but it's probably going to have to go. Only problem I have with the Sparco steering wheel, looks like that clip came undone there. There we go. Only problem I have with it is, like, if I put this in my eyesight, that's kind of how I see the gauges. And if I lift the steering wheel up the whole way, I see like this. The brakes on this thing sound horrendous. And I think it's the pads that are on the Brembos, and the clutch pedal squeaks. But it's a 20-year-old car. WD-40 should solve that. They sound awful. But I'll be honest with you. No shit. Here we go, first pull. Just pulled right out in front of a Jeep. But that's alright because we're at running temperature now, and she picked up and went. The car pulls really good. I mean, really good. Like, way better than I thought it would. What was I saying before, though? Oh, about the clutch. The clutch is holding up really well. So, I've put about 500 miles, well, I think almost 600 miles now since the rebuild, because I reset the mileage a little bit ago, but I think I have about 600 miles on the clutch, and right around 500 I did a nice pull, and it seems to be running great. So everything's good, everything's doing great. The car runs awesome. There's a couple things with, like, the suspension and that sort of thing. Like, you can see the wheel's a little shaky, so I gotta check up on that and make sure everything's good with that. But besides that, we're pretty good. Besides, it does run a little rich. I have trouble with that, but when I get into wide open throttle, it goes down like right about 11, which is pretty good. So, like I said, there's a lot of rattles, there's a lot of noise. It's definitely a loud car, but it's a hell of a lot of fun, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find like an empty parking lot somewhere that I can just kind of go into, park the car, and just sort of walk you around it, show you everything, show the ins and outs, and some of the mods I've done. And then we'll do a couple pulls, kind of show you what kind of power it's putting down, which it's going to be weird because it's in kilometers per hour, so when I get on it, it's weird to see it. But it'll be cool to show you guys that. But yeah, once I find this parking lot, I'll get with you guys and we'll kind of do a little walk around. Alright guys, well, I found a pretty cool spot. Looks like a couple other people have too. I think they're building a development back here, but right now it's just this big circle. Anyways, I'll kind of walk you around the car now, show you what's going on. I left it running, so it's going to be a little loud. But little update, I got a new fender on it since the last one was all smashed up. There's bug guts all over this thing. The hood is going to be repainted or replaced. There's some cracking and some other issues with it that I kind of figured might happen after the car got warm. You can see some crow's feet and that sort of thing up here. A little bit of misalignment here on the door I want to address at some point. These end caps, got to get those a little bit more snug. They're kind of loose with just the clips in there. But going around, this whole side is good. This is the quarter panel that is going to be repaired. I got most of the dent out. It's still a little bit left there, but we'll get that taken care of. And then obviously that end cap you can see is kind of jacked up, and then that's it. The rest of the exterior should be good to go, just needs a little bit of cleaning. Now, coming into the interior, we have our Sparco wheel, our custom, ridiculously rich air fuel right now, but we have our custom pod gauge there from Ortiz Custom Pods. Have the pod pillar down the side from Glow Shift. All the gauges are Glow Shift. The Moman reverse faces and HVAC faces, as well as blue LEDs and all the doors and everything like that. And then we have our Sparco seats, our Sparco shoulder pads, and then let's look at the beef and potatoes. So, eBay Special CX Racing front mount, eBay Special 16G turbo, eBay Special coolant hoses, eBay Special aluminum radiator, engine intake. There's no filter on there right now, I know. But eBay Special blow-off valve, CX Racing intercooler piping all came with the intercooler. Another issue here is I'm going to have to repaint this valve cover because it does look pretty disgusting right now. I had some issues with it, so we'll get those addressed. Fuel lab, fuel pressure regulator, got the ABS delete, and all new 6AN fuel line going back to a Fuel Lab filter and a Fuel Lab or a Walbro 255 fuel pump. That's pretty much it as far as and we also got the stainless line, new master cylinder stainless line going down to the new slave cylinder, eBay Special slim fans, and then we also have the XTD Racing clutch and lightweight flywheel. And then down here we have a very custom coolant overflow tank right there. The VIS carbon fiber hood. We have stock headlights, stock replacement headlights off of eBay. eBay side marker lights. Then obviously we have the Evo 8 Brembos and slotted rotors from Hawk Performance and Hawk Performance pads. XXR wheels. I believe these are like 550s, I think is the name of those. Then we have a HKS full 3-inch turbo back exhaust coming straight off the turbo dump, and I believe this is the Carbon TI model, a 4-inch tip, I believe. But besides that, the motor is stock, transmission stock, everything else is stock, just bolt-ons. Maybe sometime here shortly we will get this thing built up. This eBay turbo is holding up pretty well at about 16 pounds of boost, and this car pulls unbelievably well with that eBay 16G on 16 pounds of boost, so that's pretty cool. But let's go ahead and take this thing on another drive. Let's go ahead and get back in this thing and go for one more drive. This time I'll get on it once or twice, let you guys kind of see how quick we're moving. Man, look at that wideband, that is insane. I think what the issue is, I can't turn my fuel pressure down any further than where it is right now. Inside the engine bay, on the regulator itself, we're getting about a 40 reading, and on the rail we're getting about 39. Which is close to stock, but I think the the fuel return is getting, it's clogged up or something, so I'm gonna have to rig up another fuel return. I also think that this glow shift gauge is giving me false readings sometimes, because I really don't smell any fuel right now, which with the exhaust leak up front, I should really be smelling fuel. Now the main issue I have with this car is I do have a second gear grind. I don't know how bad that sounded in the camera. Normally it doesn't do that because I'm very careful shifting into second. I just did that for you guys to hear it. So I'll show you now how I have to shift into second. And it's notorious for the GSX to get a second gear grind over time. And there's nothing I can really do about it besides getting a new transmission or building this one. So here we go, I'll shift into second. I double clutch, gently put it into second, no grind. But a first gear pull in this thing is just insane. So I can't imagine if I could slam it into second and continue the pull, how hard it would pull. But we'll just have to do a second gear pull. Go ahead, downshift into second, and we're gonna let her rip. Rubbing a little bit there. Do a third gear pull. Not stupid fast. That was about 14 pounds of boost on the eBay Evo 16G. So I'm sure with the real 16G pushing, you know, better boost, I could probably get like 18 out of a good Evo 316G. We'd probably see a little bit quicker acceleration there, but second to third gear pull is just crazy. But once you get up into higher speeds, this thing doesn't like to go very fast, which is strange. Like once you're over like 80, it does not want to. It does not 80 kilometers, 80 miles per hour. So once we're around the 120 kilometer per hour mark, it really doesn't like to go all that much. So I want to do this for you guys real quick. I'm not going to actually launch the thing, but I am going to shift into first gear and going to downshift into first and see if I can get a good first gear pull out of this thing real quick, so you guys can just see. Like when I get a good first gear pull, it feels really good, but obviously, as you can hear, I didn't successfully engage second without grinding, so I got to be very careful and not do that often. Actually do that at all, because I'm going to have to replace the transmission really fast if I do that. So please don't scold me and say, oh, well, you're going to blow out your transmission. I know there's definitely a problem with it, and I think the shifter linkage is actually stretched a little bit, and that probably doesn't help the issue, but I don't think that's the whole issue. I'll be honest with you guys too, a lot of people are like, you're crazy for building this car without power steering or AC, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't had any issue without having it once yet. Like not once have I been like, oh man, I really wish I had AC, really wish I had power steering. Obviously power steering and no power steering in a parking lot is awful, I know that, but you know, it's not the end of the world. So it is what it is. You know, I'm enjoying the car. I enjoy the incredible steering response I get from not having power steering. Listen to them brakes go though, I'm telling you. It's just a matter of preference, you know, with a car like this that I'm only driving, you know, once a month or something like that. Well, I exaggerate. It's probably once every like 2 times a week, maybe like Saturday, Sunday or something like that. I really don't mind it, especially once we get into like the fall weather or like springtime weather. I still have the heater core, so I'm still gonna have heat. It's only the brutally hot days where this thing's gonna suck, and I don't have to drive it on the brutally hot days. So it is what it is. I don't mind it. Second gear pull. I'll be honest, brakes. I'll be honest with you, coming out of a 400 horsepower WRX, I don't know what this thing makes with an eBay setup and a stock motor. I'm more than happy with it. And maybe down the road we'll up the power once I get a built motor in it, but I want to enjoy this thing and I don't want it blowing up. So I don't really want to bump up the power too much. It's just supposed to be a fun car to drive around. It's not going to the racetrack or anything like that. There'll eventually probably be a new daily that will surpass the power level of this thing, but it don't matter to me. Like I said, one day maybe I'll have the money and I can build this thing the way I want to build it, but until then. Well guys, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching the car run, kind of going over some of the mods that we got on it, and most importantly, you know, seeing it done, so, or mostly done. So I appreciate everyone that's kind of came on this journey with me. I noticed we're almost at 1,000 subscribers. That is huge. You have no idea how happy that makes me. So I really appreciate your guys' support. of the build, and hopefully you'll see more of this thing and some other cool cars coming up shortly. So thank you, I appreciate your time, and I'll see you in the next one.